Right, good morning everyone. I might get started while I'm waiting for the PowerPoint to come up. My name's Debra Panizzon, I'm from Monash University, and I'm here with my colleague Peter Corkill, who's from the John Monash Science School. We're actually here to talk about a virtual school of emerging sciences that we're actually developing as part of the NBN project, or the NBN funding. And what this is about, it's about engaging Year 10 students, those students who are sitting in your classes who would really like to be enriched and provided with an opportunity to do some cutting edge and some emerging sciences that they might not be able to get access to in their own schools. So I think it really fits in with what Richard was talking about in his keynote, and also about Bendigo Secondary College. When we start up, I'm going to show you a copy of our website and where the students actually go once they log in, so that they get their own, the technology's not working, so they get access to the virtual school. Once they're inside, and along with their teachers, they are able to communicate with teachers who are located now at the John Monash Science School, but will engage with scientists, etc., in a virtual school that bridges state and territory boundaries. So that's our website, and this is a collaboration between Monash University, John Monash School, Pearson and Cisco. So there's quite a few keen people working in this space. Oh. Okay, so what do we offer? These are the 4 modules that we're currently developing. Astrophysics, quantum physics, nanoscience and nanotechnology. Now, in preparing the materials for this, you've got teachers who are working with experts from the Faculty of Education about pedagogy, curriculum, and also from the Faculty of Science at Monash University. The other day, or a couple of weeks ago, we had Perry Vlahos, who is actually president of the Astronomical Society of Victoria, and he's also an astronomy broadcaster. And he was actually having almost a fireside chat with students from South Australia, the ACT, and from the East School down in Tasmania. And this is what it looks like. This is a pretty ordinary diagram, but I love it because it was done on a whiteboard and actually shows what we're trying to do. In the centre, you'll see that we're actually using WebEx. We're using Google Docs so that it's accessible to everybody. We're also using WebPress and RealSmart. So they're our platforms that we're using. Schools don't need to have that. All you need to do is have access to Google Docs. Then what we do is we have a special teaching space that's been created at the John Monash School where the teachers teach from, and the students connect in, and they can connect in a variety of ways. They could be sitting in the library and connect in that way. They can connect in as a group with a teacher who is the liaison teacher working with them, or they can be connecting in at home, which is what the students from East School in Tasmania are actually doing. And what does it look like? Here's a couple of our teachers, Luke and Lisa, who are teaching the astronomy, and they're getting themselves ready to actually teach. And you can see that for these teachers who are used to teaching in a face-to-face environment, they are suddenly put in this environment, and they have learnt heaps. So in terms of professional development for the teachers who are actually teaching in this, we are learning a lot about pedagogical change and how you need to modify that when you go from one environment to the other. So all right to say the virtual world is there, but if you're wanting your subject experts to teach in it, then you have to engage them in the pedagogy and changes in that. You don't just sit them in front of the camera and it happens, and we're trying to document that, and that's the research behind what we're doing. Some of the team. So it really does look like quite a studio. And this is kind of what it looks like, I think, from a student perspective. So little snapshots of that is what happens on the student's computer. So that's what they see. So at the moment we're working with 3 partner schools. This is our first term. We're almost finished our first term, so it's almost celebration time. We're working with Gangalan, Willunga and the Tasmanian East School. We're looking for people who are interested in term 2, and then term 3 and 4, and then we'll roll that out again next year. So it's we're learning, but it's been very successful so far. And I'm going to hand over to Peter. Before I do, I'm going to be hanging around today as well, and if you want a postcard, we've got some nice little postcards that you can take that have actually been designed by the teachers themselves. Thank you.
Thanks, Deb, and yeah, good morning everyone, and thanks very much for having us. I just thought I'd explain a little bit about the context of the school to see where this NVSES, this virtual school, fits. You probably know a little bit about our school. We're only into our 4th year. But one of the things you may not excuse me, know as much about is our remit to build capacity in science. And over the last 2 years, we've hosted several kids from remote regional Victoria for immersion programs in science at John Monash. They actually come and enrol for 5 weeks and continue learning one of our emerging science electives once they go back home. They then complete a project and bring it back to a science fair at the end of the year. And while they're with us, a lot of their teachers come down and spend either 2 days or a week with us. So it's an opportunity for regional schools to build capacity in science, and that was really the launching pad for this. We obviously couldn't possibly host as many students across Victoria who would want to come for a while, but we see the scaling of this making, you know, genuinely cutting-edge curriculum available to kids all over the place possible through this virtual school. And so that's how Monash and ourselves got into it. So who does it suit? It probably suits those Year 10 students in your schools that are genuinely passionate about science, and we could engage them in 2 ways. It could be excuse me, students who would require extension and would enjoy that option and might do this for interest. But it could also genuinely engage students at a greater level, I suppose, if they were doing an elective and instead of doing that they did one of these subjects across a semester. So it does involve synchronous learning. There's 2 live 1-hour lessons a week, plus some asynchronous work as well. And we're finding that the thing that really excites students when they come and visit the school and stay for a while is the opportunity to learn things about some of our subjects like pharmaceutical science, bioinformatics. I didn't even know what that was before I started at John Monash. But these are the opportunities that are really spinning wheels of the kids. They're getting to learn cutting edge science, and it's really exciting kids at the moment in this project. The other thing that I think you should really think about is the opportunity it provides for your teachers. Because I think Richard was talking before about cutting edge curriculum. We think this is getting there for the right kids in Year 10 and giving them a genuine opportunity to engage in something that's intellectually rigorous and certainly exciting. So if your teachers are engaged with it as well, hopefully they'd be able to be involved in the program and then one day be able to teach this program in your schools as well. So like I say, it's delivered in 8-week modules, and I've spoken a little bit about the lessons and how they work. And there are work requirements outside the lessons that students would complete, some live projects and things like that that they would hand in, and our staff would give them feedback on it. So what do you need to participate? I'm not going to go through the high-end tech stuff because that's completely not my field, but suffice to say that normal access through schools and video conferencing facilities on a laptop or something like that is basically all you need. We have said that, you know, larger groups of kids can be involved. I suppose there is an element of the more students from the same school involved, it might result in some diminution of the quality, but just certainly small groups, say 5 kids with a laptop each engaging in this is no issue whatsoever. And we would hope that a liaison teacher would be available at the school, certainly with the interest to learn the curriculum, with a view to one day being able to teach it in more schools. We're not too precious about curriculum. Part of our remit is to build capacity in science. And we believe if these subjects become more commonly taught throughout the system, we're adding great capacity to teachers and to kids so that the excitement in science is just regenerated a bit. So what's next today? Like Deb, I'll be around all day. I can't take questions now, but more than happy to talk to people in the breaks. So there's our website if you'd like to take a note of that, and also grab one of those postcards. Please get in touch with us because we're very interested in hearing from people from any schools that want to take part in the trial in term 2, 3 or 4, and then we're building it up next year, so hopefully we can give as many kids eventually across the state who are genuinely passionate about science an opportunity to learn something very different and very exciting. Thanks very much for